Patrick, congratulations. Olympic trials, you won the pommel horse event. Did you expect this going in? Obviously, you're one of the tops in the world.
I knew that I had some shot of winning, like going into it, and I just needed to have two good days of competition, and that's what happened.
Apparently, listening to people who saw this event, your Saturday, did you feel better about the second time than you did on the Thursday?
Oh yeah, 100%. The Thursday one, I messed up my dismount right at the end of the routine, and so that ended up being a big hit to my score that I got that day. And then day two, I didn't. I mean, the way that it felt really good when I was doing it, and then watching it after, there wasn't any major mistakes throughout the routine, and it just felt really good when I did it.
Now, most people, who don't know how the sports work probably think, oh, you won the Olympic trials, you're on the Olympic team. That is not the case here. Can you kind of explain that to people who don't know?
So the biggest part was for the spot-on team was between me and another horse specialist in the U.S. And the way that it worked is they actually didn't just include the Olympic trial scores, but our scores from the U.S. championships a month before. And then they took our three best scores from those meets, and then they took our average, and then looking at the average, his was higher than mine after the 4 days of competition. So even though I won trials, he won kind of the whole selection process.
Okay. I can understand that. So, but you don't seem like you're very bummed to me. I would be kind of bummed that I'm not on that Olympic team, but you're an alternate.
I mean, I was bummed at first when it first happened, but then after I thought about it a little more, we kind of knew going into the meet that I had a lot, Steven had a lot going for him that I didn't. I mean, I've only been on the national team for 4 months now, so not even a full year, and I've only had one international competition, and those are all things that Steven, non-gymnastics wise, outweighs me a ton. So I knew kind of going in that if I wanted to make the Paris team, then I would have to have a really big performance at championships and trials, and that just didn't happen. I had good performances, but it wasn't the big enough performance that I needed to push my way in favor of the Olympic Committee.
So in your career, I mean, you're an alternate, so there's still a chance, and you'll still be training up until that point. Kind of take me through that. What does that look like? For you won't really travel to Paris unless you get the call, but what does it look like back here?
It'll just be training, I'm getting ready to go for the Olympics, because I would hate to slack off a little bit and then end up getting that call and feel super unprepared. So training like I'm going to Paris, and then just waiting and seeing if they'll end up needing me there.
How has this, hit you? A couple years ago, you're just a freshman on the Air Force gymnastics team, and now a junior, you're a world champion. You're winning Olympic trials. You're preparing for Paris, possibly. Has this hit you yet? Are you able to say I'm pretty good, or what do you think about it?
I think it's been absolutely crazy. I mean, even just the development I have with competing and who I am as an athlete now compared to our first meet against Oklahoma and RMO this past year to now is I'm a completely different athlete and competitor than I was back then, and it's just been absolutely crazy, and it's been happening so quick for the most part. So when I was at trials, I was trying to look around and kind of just feel the moment that I was in, I'm here. I'm one of the top dogs now.
That's awesome. It doesn't seem to have gone to your head, though. What have you used from even the one international competition you were in, and from winning the NCAAs, and what does that fuel you for next season here with Air Force?
Yeah, I mean, of course, the only real thing you have to do after winning NCAAs is to win it again. It's the only way to go, and just hoping to have one last good push with Air Force, one more good NCAA season with the team, and then we'll see what happens after.
Why pommel horse? Why is that your specialty? Why do you like it that much?
It was the one I was best at compared to the others. But no, it was just one that I had a lot of potential being really good on, and then all my other events didn't have that potential. So kind of slowly narrowed the focus more towards horse my freshman year, and especially after I hurt my elbow freshman year. When I came back, it just kind of was like, oh, I'm only going to do horse for a while, and then it just kind of stayed that way.
Very good. Josh Lozier, Sergey Resnick obviously have helped you out a little bit. Did they point to things or help you develop the current routine that you're going through that has gotten you to this level?
I mean, yeah, obviously they the best coaches that I've probably ever had in my entire career, and they've helped a lot with mastering the skills in my routine and building the routine so it wasn't like way too hard and stuff like that. But they've also helped me a lot more with the competition aspect, because competing used to be really rough for me, especially my sophomore year, my first full season, and they kind of helped me like work with stuff and ways to think about competitions in a way so that I'm actually able to compete the way that I train normally.
Final question I have for you. How do you get your mindset of, I'm going to Paris, I really know that I may not be going to Paris. Like, how are you going to keep that mindset while you train?
I'm just going to try my best, I guess. It's kind of hard, but I don't know, just thinking what would happen if I didn't prepare that way and I ended up getting called is enough to like motivate me to keep the work up.
How much of you, sorry, it's not the last question obviously, how much have you been watching gymnastics as a kid, and how much was this a dream to make the Olympic team?
I mean, a long time when I was a kid, I would tell people, oh yeah, I'm going to the Olympics for sure, like I'll be there, and then you kind of go through high school and you're like, maybe it'll happen, I'm not sure, or maybe not. And now that I'm like actually in this position and here, it's a complete dream come true. I remember watching all these meets and like growing up in high school and middle school, like growing up watching trials, watching U.S. championships, and now I'm one of those guys like on the screen. And even some of the competitors there were people that I watched when I was a kid, which is completely crazy.
So I assume you'll be rooting for your teammates in Paris.
Oh yeah, 100%, of course. I mean, the committee selected the team that they thought was the best, and trust in what the committee selected, and hopefully they bring home a medal.
Fantastic. Pat, congratulations again, and good luck. Maybe we'll see you in Paris. We'll see.
Maybe.